All right, Cancer, this is your love taroscope and horoscope for mid-December. We're going to talk about the rest of 2020. This year hasn't disappointed on any level with what's going on in the world, what's going on with relationships. So let's get into it. We're going to discuss the stars first, and then we're going to go into the cards, which will help us dive a little bit deeper. All right, so we just finished the solar eclipse in Sagittarius. That was on December 14th. That's in your 6th house of work, routine, health, and service. So I hope you paid very close attention to what was going on that day. Things that were happening around that eclipse time are going to play out over the next 6 months. That's usually the time frame that we can see fruition, new beginnings coming in on that eclipse energy. Venus, we're going to talk a little bit about Venus. Venus is finally moving out of Scorpio, which is in its detriment. Venus doesn't do very well in Scorpio. Venus is ruled by Taurus, its opposite sign. So when it's in Scorpio, a sign ruled by Mars, a lot of tension tends to happen on the love front. Things might seem one way, and then all of a sudden it appears like it's actually something else. So for the last few weeks, 3.5 weeks or so, the love front may have been a little tense. That's your 5th house, Cancer, house of fun, romance. Children are also governed by the 5th house. So Venus is finally leaving its detriment where it doesn't do very well in Scorpio. And now it's moving into Sagittarius, your 6th house of work, routine, details, and service. And that was on, let's take a look here, December 15th. And it's going to be in Sag until January 8th. Venus is going to pick up dignity, meaning it's going to have its more benefic qualities that we usually see with Venus, the goddess of love and relationships, just by the fact that it's in Sagittarius. It's finally out of its detriment in Scorpio. The one hang up here, we have to wait a few days. I'm recording this on December 18th. The ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter right now is still in its fall position over in Capricorn until the 19th. So we got a few days to go until the greater benefic Jupiter and the lesser benefic Venus finally start bestowing some of those gifts that they usually bring about, especially when it's in happy, optimistic, jovial Sagittarius. 6th house, again, work, routine, details, service. The 21st is an important date. So as we see the gas giants Saturn and Jupiter finally leave Capricorn, Saturn's been there since December 2017. Jupiter's been there for the last year, all sitting in your 7th house of partnerships, one-on-one relationships, and legal contracts. I'm sure there have been massive changes in your partnership area over the last year, Cancer, especially considering the fact that the nodes of the moon were on that Cancer-Capricorn axis all of 2020, except for this last half, right? They just moved in Sag and Gemini. So big endings, big beginnings on that 7th house front of one-on-one partnerships. They are finally moving out. The gas giants are finally moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius on December 21st. So we're going to start to see a lift very slowly from this crummy Capricorn energy that tends to bog us down. It's restriction, it's delay. Jupiter is the expansion. So it just expands this feeling of delay and restriction that oftentimes Saturn brings about. It's moving into your 8th house. So this is the STD house. Sex, taxes, and insurance, sex, taxes, and death. So it's things from the underworld. It's things ruled by Pluto, things we don't necessarily see coming. So it's also lump sums of money. This is also a financial house. So there's good things coming for you, Cancer, but we got to give this a little bit of time until Jupiter and Saturn separate. Jupiter is the faster moving planet. It's going to speed ahead. It's cruising through Aquarius. It's actually going to enter Pisces right around May timeframe of 2021. And then it's going to retrograde back into Aquarius. So we're going to do a little review period in the later half of the year in your 8th house. So be prepared for some potentially exciting and expansive energy with Jupiter sitting in your 8th house. That could be great for intimacy and lump sums, right? Jupiter does very well in Aquarius. It picks up dignity just by the fact that it's out of Capricorn in its fall position. So we can see some good things coming, but I want to warn all of you, we're dealing with some difficult energies on a different front here, because Venus is going to make what's called a quincunx, that's a 150-degree angle over to Uranus, and that's sitting in Taurus in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, dreams, groups, friendships, social networks, the collective. So Venus is sitting in your 6th house of work and routine. It's making an awkward angle on the 21st over to your 11th house. And in that same day, right around the exit, it's about this time, there's a not a highly talked about aspect that Venus is making to Pluto, and it's called an Antiscia. And this is what you need to know about Anticias. It's things that we don't necessarily see coming, and they can have a little bit of a malefic energy to it. It can present itself one way, and it turns out to be something completely different. So when Venus and Pluto get together, it's going to feel like it's going to feel really great. There's going to be something that you really are attracted to, that you feel drawn to, right? Pluto is magnetic energy. It's power. It's Scorpio. So it's got kind of a draw to it, but I want to warn you, Pluto's still sitting in your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships, 23 degrees. Venus just enters Sagittarius, so it makes this bizarre Antiscia to each other while it's making a quincunx, which is bizarre. This is another frustrating energy right on the 21st. So it's going to feel like things are happening on that relationship front that might seem one way, and then it actually turns out to be something completely different. So be on your guard. Use your intuition. You have the best intuition, Cancer. If something doesn't feel right, get out. The drama continues. I'm not going to sugarcoat this because you guys need to know what you're up against. Mars, planet of war, god of war, sitting in Aries, just finished that retrograde motion all through Aries, is going to start making a square, challenging aspect over to Pluto in your 7th house. Mars is sitting in your 10th house of career, public, Pluto sitting in your 7th. This square, when Mars squares Pluto, this is power struggles. This is trying to assert dominance. This is covert action. So watch what's happening in the news. I did a little research on this, and Mars retrograding in its home sign of Aries can produce some big tension on the global front. So we can go back to 1941, November 10th of 1941, when Mars was retrograding in Aries, and Uranus was sitting in Taurus at that time, which it's sitting in now. About a month later, Pearl Harbor happened. So this can produce battles, bloody battles. The next time it was in Mars was retrograding in Aries was 1973. November 1973. During that time, the Greek president was ousted. And at that point, Uranus was sitting in Libra. So they were actually opposing each other during this time. So there's this connection with Mars hooking up or retrograding in its own sign, hooking up with these larger planets and producing some big stuff. The last time it happened was in August of 1988. And at that point, Mars retrograding in Aries was making a square over to Neptune, which was sitting in Capricorn. Right around that time, about 50,000 Kurds were killed in the Iran-Iraq war. So what does this mean for you? It means this. Avoid power struggles at all costs. If you feel this coming up during this, it's good. The exact square is going to happen on December 23rd, right before Christmas. So it's just like one thing after the next, right? You have Jupiter and Saturn moving out of Capricorn. You have Venus making these awkward angles over to Pluto and to Uranus. on the 21st. And then on the 23rd, Mars makes an exact square over to Pluto in Capricorn. That's your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and your 10th house of career. So if something's happening on the career front, avoid conflict at all costs. This stuff produces bad news. So just be aware of it going into Christmas. It's going to feel pretty intense. Watch what's happening in the news. I'm telling you, we got some big energies playing out. And of course, the big news for you, Cancer, is if we can't finish the year on a happy note. I wish I had some better news, and it very well might turn out happy, don't get me wrong. But you have your full moon in Cancer on December 30th. Sun's going to be in Capricorn, directly opposite to Cancer. So it's kind of like a review of the entire year. And again, full moons typically bring endings, and this is happening in your 1st house of self and your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you Cancers are making some big changes on that relationship front. Definitely watch out what's happening on the work front around the 23rd. Mars is still going to cruise forward. It's not out of its shadow phase yet in an Aries. So we're still kind of reviewing some of the old crap that could have came up back in September, October, November. The full moon's going to be intense on that last day. So especially for you, Cancer, the moon is your ruling sign. In your home sign, emotions might be running quite high at that time. So just be prepared for this. If you can take some time off, try and find ways to relax as much as possible, whether it's through creative efforts, trying to get outside. I know that's not always possible in December, but any way you can to avoid conflicts, that's your greatest benefit at this point. So I want you to be aware of it. It doesn't mean love can't be found, but right now we are dealing with some big energies, trying to clear out some of the stuff that's been happening in 2020, big stuff, right? Now we're moving into 2021, and we have to deal with some of the ramifications of what's occurred in 2020. So we're not out of the dark just quite yet. There's massive shifts happening with the big planets that will bring in great stuff, but not yet. We have to wait until probably the later half of 2021 to really start seeing some forward movement and some progress. But first, we got to clean out the crap, and it's going to be difficult. So Cancer, you are the nurturer. You need to hone in on your nurturing abilities to help people at this time. You naturally take in energy from other people. So beware of that as well. Don't take in energy that's not yours. You need to protect your third eye, because the dark forces here, unfortunately, are at work, and it could be covert. So be aware of it. Use your intuition. You have great intuition. If something doesn't feel right, let it go. Don't poke the bear. All right. So with that said, I know it's a lot. I'm doing your video first for the mid-month because Cancer, you've had more things going on in your chart than anything else. So let's check with the Angels Oracle. We're going to also consult the Tarot. But again, if you can lay low for the rest of the year, not a bad idea. All right, let's see what we got. This is for Cancer. Remember, this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to all of you. Be sure you check out your rising sign, your Venus, and Moon. Those might speak more to you this month than your sun sign. So let's see what's happening, Cancer. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. All right. So maybe you got someone on your radar. Remember what I said about Venus right now, though, okay? It's going to make that Antisha. It's something we don't necessarily see coming, and that's sitting in your 7th house, right? So getting to know each other. Good. Take your time. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Great, Cancer. All right. Those are two really nice cards. So you're getting to know each other. The universe is telling you it is safe. Okay, but let's consult the Tarot. Let's see what's happening over there. They're going to give us a little bit more idea, but you know what? Cancer, if you're single and getting to know each other, take your time, okay? Now is not the time to be making really big decisions. It's obviously okay for you to always open up your heart. Love can be found anywhere. But like I said, things are a little bit strange right now. So take your time, Cancer, if you're single. If you're partnered up, maybe you're getting to re-know your partner. Maybe there's an aspect of them that you didn't know. Maybe you're falling back in love, trying to rekindle that flame. It's safe for you. So there could have been some hurt here too. Maybe things came out over the eclipse time over the last couple of weeks that perhaps shook you a little bit. So we're going to find out. We're going to pull some tarot for these cards and see what we got. Page of Cups, that's an offer. Very nice. Strength, okay. Oh, here we go. Nine of Cups, that's a nice card. The Chariot, that's you. Very nice, Cancer. Knight of Swords, all right. Ten of Swords, all right. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about, okay? So that was the last card out. So Cancer, you might be talking to someone. Maybe there's someone new on your radar, and they're pulling those emotional strings. They're sending you some loving text messages. You guys are talking. If you're partnered up, maybe you're having a conversation about how to move forward, how to rekindle that love. Maybe it's therapy, but this is emotional. This is emotional messages, right? It could be even an offer for a partnership. And then we have Leo, the Strength card. This person might, be calling upon his inner Leo to, or you might be dealing with a Leo for that matter. That very well could be. So if you're dealing with a Leo here, we'll get to this, but Leo, this is also the 8th house, right? So Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn and Jupiter moving out of the 7th into the 8th. So this could be, this could be this shift. It's a very big shift into this 8th house. So it's calling upon you to have strength, or you're dealing with a Leo. It's one or the other. Either way, right now, you're probably feeling pretty good because this is the Nine of Cups. This is the man sitting with all of his cups upright. He's feeling great. The next card on this one is the Ten of Cups, which is the happy marriage card. So you might be feeling really great about what's happening right now, that this relationship is something that could go somewhere, right? Like open up your heart, getting to know each other. This is good stuff for the most part, right? And then right underneath this, you have your own card, right? This is Cancer. This is it, but this is also a new direction. So this could go one of two ways. Either you are exhibiting this new direction in love, right? And you're deciding to move forward. And you very well could be moving in this new direction to a new person. But really, when I take a look at this, what's happening underneath here, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is impulsive. He comes in quick. This is quick energy. So you very well might receive some news coming up here that kind of changes your mind here. And the Chariot is a victory, right? This is a victory. It's a new direction, but I think more or less this is asking you to use your intuition, Cancer. I think the universe wants you to just slow down. Don't rush into it, right? That's what this is. Don't be rushing into a new direction without getting to know each other first, because the end result here, that's a dark card. That's betrayal, that's loss. So, like I said, things right now in the stars are difficult, especially with that Mars squaring Pluto over in your 7th house. It could be on the career front, could be on the home front. But with Venus making those awkward angles to Uranus, yeah, I'm going to say use caution here, okay? Sometimes, especially during COVID, I think people that are single right now really want to try and make something happen because we're lonely. We're trying to fight boredom. It'd be nice to have someone else around, right? But you need to use caution because not everyone's going to be right for you, Cancer. And right now, the stars just are saying, wait. This is wait because, ooh, that's you. Hopefully you're not rushing in something. Don't rush it because it's going to end poorly. Get to know each other first. There might be something that's missing. If you're coupled up, this could be new revelations in your relationship. Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn brings endings, unfortunately. And it's right at the end of your 7th house of marriage, contracts, legal contracts, and one-on-one partnerships. So, Cancer, you need to use your intuition here. And Saturn being at that last degree, just moving out of Capricorn, there could have been some upsets recently. Let's pull one more card for the outcome. Let's see how this ends. Very nice. You're getting the Temperance card. This is the healing card. This is the rebalance card, Cancer. This is calling upon your angel, Raphael, right? 1 foot in the water, spirituality. Call upon your angels for help. If you need the guidance, they're always there for you. Always. Be sure to breathe. Be sure to use your intuition about things. Something seems fishy, it's gotta go, okay? Don't even go near it. It's not right for you. But this is calling for you, if things have ended recently, to rebalance the cups, okay? Cancer, you're great at this. You can be a little brooding at times, and it's hard for you sometimes to let things go because you're so emotional and you feel things so deeply. But you know how best to take care of you, Cancer, and this is urging you to do some healing. And there's definitely healing energy to be found here. Call upon your angel, Raphael. I hope you guys found this helpful. Use caution. Things aren't as what they seem right now, Cancer. I hope you found this useful. We're going to talk next time in January, and we're going to do 2021 full reading for the year so you know what to expect on the love front and the money front and some general other things like we try to. If you like this video, please subscribe, click that like button, and we'll talk to you next time.